What's up guys, it's Nia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we're in a bit of a different location. Whenever I promote my channel, I always promise college fashion and lifestyle related content. You guys have already seen some of the fashion. The college content starts in August, and today's video is going to be showing you guys a bit of the lifestyle content. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a cook with me. And yeah, on the menu we have Parmesan and herb crusted salmon with some curried coconut sauce, and I'm going to be doing that with sweet potatoes and a side salad. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So before we start, I'm going to give you guys a disclaimer. I am not by any means a professional chef. I'm going to be showing you guys what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, but I am not saying that the way I'm doing it is the right way, so just putting that out there. If you guys disagree with how something's done, that's fine, but yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I have the salmon right here. I already thawed it in the refrigerator, so now I'm going to wash it and season it. All I'm going to do is wash my hands. So now that I've removed the salmon from all their bags and I have them in the bowl, I'm just going to add some distilled white vinegar and some water, and I'm going to wash them. Now that I've washed them, I'm going to pat them dry with a napkin, just because I'm using the same bowl that I washed them in, and I don't like when there's a lot of water left in the bottom of the bowl, especially when I'm seasoning them, so yeah. Now I'm going to gather all the seasonings that I plan to use. So instead of adding all the seasonings individually like directly onto the salmon, I'm going to combine all of them in a bowl first, so that way I can taste it and make sure that I have all the right proportions and it won't be like too salty or too spicy or anything. So yeah. So the first one I'm going to add is this Goya adobo seasoning. Now I'm going to add some black pepper. Now I'm going to add some onion powder. I don't usually add too much to this just because I feel like when there's a lot in it, it adds a weird flavor to the food, so use it lightly. Next I'm going to add some garlic powder, and I use a lot of this just because I like when food have a garlicky taste, so yeah. Next I'm going to add some cayenne pepper. Next I'm going to add some paprika. Next I'm going to add some Cajun seasoning. Now I'm going to add some Old Bay seasoning. Let me show you guys what we're working with. Now that I'm good with how the spice blend tastes, I'm going to add it to the salmon. If you guys are doing this, please don't follow what I'm doing. Wear gloves. I don't have gloves right now, and I didn't remember to put it on anyway, so wear the gloves. Here's what we're working with for the salmon. Now I'm gonna make the crust. Now I'm gonna add a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm gonna crush them into smaller pieces just because I feel like these are too long for the coating, so yeah. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Now I'm adding some black pepper. Time for some parsley, and some cayenne pepper, and some onion powder, and some Italian seasoning, and some paprika. And I'm gonna add a bit of adobo. Okay, now I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Now I'm gonna preheat the oven to 425, which I probably should have done before, shouldn't I? While our oven's preheating, I'm gonna melt some butter so I can dip the, you guys will see what I'm doing with it, but yeah. I'm just eyeballing it so I can't give you guys any measurements. Okay, so 2 of the pieces of salmon are going to be regular fried, and then the sauce is going to be on top, but the other 3 pieces are going to be the herb crusted. So for the 2 that are just going to be fried normally, I'm going to use this tiny air fryer that I bought for college apartment haul coming up soon, by the way. So yeah, I've added some lining to the bottom, and I'm going to do them at about 370 for like 10 minutes. So yeah, now that the butter is melted, I'm gonna dip the salmon in it and then dip it into the coating, and then I'm gonna bake it. So I'm just using some of the melted butter, and I'm gonna use that to grease the tray that I'm gonna have the salmon on, just because, why not? The other 2. Now before I move on to the potatoes, I'm just gonna wash up everything because the kitchen's a bit crowded at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna wash up what we have working here for the salmon, and then I'm gonna get started on the potatoes. I just turned the oven down to 400 instead of 425 because I feel like that was a bit too high. So yeah. Time to chop up some potatoes. Smells good. Turn it back up to 425. Alexa, stop. As you guys can see, I'm just chopping them into cubes and then adding them to this bowl right here. Leaving them in some water for a bit, just for a little while. So for the sauce, I'm going to chop up some bell peppers, onion, garlic, and scotch bonnet peppers.
And you can buy all of these at Walmart.
Now I'm gonna add a little bit of onion powder, some black pepper, and some cayenne pepper. Now some paprika. Now some garlic powder, which, like I say, be generous with the garlic powder. Very generous. Some adobo. Wash your hands before you mix it up, please. And don't use a spoon because it's not gonna get in all the places. So don't bother. You can use a spoon to help you, but not to do it for you. Now I'm gonna air fry them at 365, 370 for 20 minutes. Now I'm gonna do the sauce. Now I'm gonna add all the vegetables to the pot, and I'm gonna add a little bit of oil. Just enough to saute them, we're not frying them or anything. When you're making the sauce, you're gonna need hot water instead of regular water, so I just put the kettle on. So for the sauce, you're gonna need coconut milk and curry powder, paste, or seasoning, whichever form you have. For this, I'm gonna use coconut milk powder, and I'm gonna add a bit of water to it to make it coconut milk. And I'm gonna be using curry paste. So this is Caribbean Dreams coconut milk powder. You can find it in the Caribbean section of whichever supermarket has it, so yeah. And for the curry paste, it's also one that you'd find in the Caribbean section of your supermarket or whatever. It's Walker's Wood curry paste. So I have the powder right here, and I'm gonna add a bit of hot water to it just because it comes out smoother when you use hot water as opposed to like room temperature cold water, so yeah. And we're just adding a little bit to make it a paste. So to mix it, I'm using a fork instead of a spoon just because it mashes the clumps of the coconut milk powder better. So yeah, fork instead of spoon. Just to make sure everything's mixed out evenly, instead of adding it to the pot separately, I'm gonna add the curry paste to the coconut milk before adding it to the pot. Okay, so just about this much. You can switch to the spoon now. This is what we're working with. So disclaimer, the curry paste I'm using is pre-cooked, but if it wasn't, if you're using the powder that's uncooked, then you'd have to, this is a different way to make it. You'd have to add it to the pot so you can cook it before you add everything else. But because it's pre-cooked, I can just add it to the coconut milk or straight to the pot without worrying about that. Back to the pot over here. So now that our vegetables have been cooking for a bit, I'm gonna add some hot water to it. Not that much, just a bit. I'm adding a bit more water, sorry about the noise. Now I'm gonna add some powdered seasoning. So first is some black pepper, again. And make sure the pot's not turned up too high because you don't want everything to dry out too quickly. Now I'm going to add some adobo again and some garlic powder. Now it's time to add our coconut milk and curry mixture. Some time, but it's a bit too watery, so I'm going to add some breadcrumbs and thickener. So instead of the breadcrumbs, I'm going to use some flour to thicken it instead. Like I said, just a little bit. So for the flour, we're not just adding a bit of water to make it a paste. We need it a bit more runny than what we were working with for the coconut milk. So here it is. Stir as you add. And I'm going to add a little bit of butter just to add some more flavor to it. just gonna give it another like 2 minutes. And there's no written recipe for this sauce. I'm using my mom's recipe and the recipe's from her head, so yeah. Now I'm gonna add the 2 pieces of salmon that weren't crusted. The salmon's already cooked, so we don't need to leave it in the pot for a long time. So I'm gonna turn the heat down to low and just gonna give it about a minute or so to like soak in with the sauce. Here's a final look. And here are the potatoes. They're not done yet, so I'm gonna give them about 5 more minutes at 375. I'm not gonna actually be making the salad, it's just this like pre-made salad pack, so yeah. I'll update you guys when it's time to eat. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs up anyways. Do not hit a thumbs up, and comment down below what you guys thought of this week's video. If you have any other video ideas or ways you'd like to see me improve, comment that down below. If you guys end up trying this recipe, then let me know what you guys think about it. My mom said it was a bit too spicy, so if you guys can't really handle spice, then lessen the amount of cayenne pepper and black pepper you add to it. Subscribe to this channel, join the family, let's grow together. Watch all of my other videos, follow me on all my other social media accounts, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Wash your hands before you touch your phone. Nice. So I'm going to add a 1/4 cup. That is so small. And I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. Now, can I come with my garlic powder? As you guys can see, I'm just chopping them into cubes. I kind of got my food stuff over here. I'm washing the dishes.